So as part of this winterizing this outdoor porch, or squaring out the house, this bottom part here is a 4-foot indent. You can see up the entire back of the house. It comes out over here. The whole house is 4 feet wider from the second floor up. And on the main floor, it's just an indent of 4 feet. I don't know why they did that, but they did. So while I winterize this porch, I'm just gonna make a hallway here and pull the house out 4 feet. So bring that basement door 4 feet forward. Maybe eventually, since our kitchen is that way, open up this wall here and just have a hallway. So again, we cut out this section here for steps. This last joist here for steps. We have to build that out and build a form in there. For the cement, we're actually going to be putting cement about 7 to 8 inches right here. It's going to be a step up. And the reason for that is moisture, water buildup. We don't want it to be the same level as the basement or the same level here. So we want it to be higher up. So if there's any water buildup, it doesn't come into the house. So we're going to be building a step, which is about 7 to 8 inches over here. And we have to still put the form at the basement door, and form we put over the window here because it looks like it's going to cover some of this window. Just use a piece of wood, thin piece of wood, very thin. It's like, I don't think it's even 1/4 inch, like 2/8, less than 1/4 inch. Maybe it is 1/4 inch, and it's just covering the window. The cement will go on over it. Eventually, if we open this area, I don't know what I'm going to do here, steps or whatnot. So I'm just leaving it for now and building a step over this section. So we're in the process of building the forms, and then we're going to build a stone step over here as our basement entryway that goes up to the playroom here, into the living room, or eventually kitchen, front hallway. A lot of different ideas of what we can do with this. All right, so we got the process started. Forms all around. We put the wood for the steps. We made the stairway form here. We'll probably sand this down and just have plain wood in the future. But I use this wood specifically because it's literally 2 inches. It's the same thickness as these old joists, instead of using newer wood. So we're starting the cementing process. A couple points. I made a groove in the edge over here with a grinder, and the reason is because as water builds up here, it can potentially seep underneath this area that we're building. But if you have a groove where the new cement could dig into to grab, it will make the new slab actually more secure to the old, and it'll also, some cement will go into this groove and make a blockage for any moisture. So there we go. We're just gonna get started here. We're just gonna continue. Again, we're using this as a form, and you can see we're laying our stones against the form and working around them with the cement. So here's the finished landing. Still drying. It's always good to clean up any mistakes, or, when using a form, you're putting the cement and the stones against the form that was standing over here. And so, little pieces of cement get out of place, and also you can see the difference between like a smooth professional job and when you're using a form from the inside, how it doesn't look so perfect. I actually chose this time around to keep this rough looking style. I don't know, something about it just struck me as very natural. I like to keep it that way. So I'm gonna stick with it. I did clean up, you can see all the, you know, like I used a trowel and I scraped around to clean up the stones, so it'll look nice. Once the cement hardens too hard, I mean, I only did this yesterday, so the cement is not hard. It's firm, but it's not very hard, which is the perfect time to clean it up. So you get all these little pieces here, and I'm just waiting for them to fully dry before I scrape them away. But yeah, clean up all the stones, so it'll have a nice clean look. This wood that is, this is the wall that I'm going to build here. So I put a anchor piece in the floor, and there are upside down bolts and nuts here, and the wall will screw into these pieces of wood on the two ends. The doorway is going to be right here, so I didn't put any wood there. And then you got these bolts and nuts. This one's 6 inches. It's only sticking out 1.5 inches. And the piece of wood is another 1.5 inches. That's 3 inches. So it's got to be, I would say, somewhere between 3 and 4 inches into the cement with a washer on its head. And once the cement hardens, that'll be a very, I'll tighten the bolt on top, and it should anchor that to this landing forever. You know, we'll probably pull that out at some point. But again, we use the level the entire time to keep this as level as possible. This is going to be our first step. We're going to step into this room. The basement's over there. I just ended up screwing the door on for now, just to keep anybody from getting into the house while this all dries. I will put the door back on until I build the outer door. I'm going to have to cut off about 7 inches at the bottom of the door, obviously, because we put this new step here. But once I do that, yeah, once I build this outer wall, I'll just probably take off that door. One last piece from the inside, one last part, and that is I put a plastic PVC pipe, a very small one, here to fit wires underneath this landing. I'm going to have to clean this up a bit, this pipe up a bit, trim off the edge so it's more hidden, but just wanted to show this. So underneath this slab is a pipe that comes out. Yeah, I didn't cut it off yet, but you can see it underneath over there. It was cemented inside so that I could just slide wires through into this section here, because we're going to have to put outlets and wiring. I just felt like that was the easiest way, or the smoothest way to get it in here. There are other options. You know, I mean, there is some electrical here already, but if I want to put new wiring without having to figure out how it fits through the walls and whatnot, I'll try to find another way through the foundation. I figured that was an option, and so I hid this thin PVC pipe, which I'm going to cut this part off at some point, right over there. I'll cut it off at the end. And it's here so that for the wiring, we can get wiring in here for outlets and whatever else we need, outside lights, etc.